Well, Joe Macaron is a policy analyst at the Arab Center in Washington, D.C. He's joining us now from there. Thank you very much for your time. Do you think this latest interview gives us any more clarification about the circumstances of Saad Hariri in Saudi Arabia?
It seems it raises more questions than answers. We got few clues of where he stands on some of the issues. We don't have clarity on a lot of other issues. But let's just focus on the political messages he sent. Obviously, he toned down. That's a complete shift in his rhetoric compared to his resignation a week ago, where he was very bellicose against Iran and others. Now he was very reconciliatory. He basically said the reason of the shift of Saudi policy was Yemen. He didn't mention the other issues he mentioned before. So I think a lot of Lebanese didn't still believe what happened in the last week, why his own political movement is saying what's saying, why there's a lot of U.S. and American, U.S. and French and other international community are also worried about his movement. So we didn't hear the whole story, and we have yet to see what will happen in the next days and weeks.
In this interview, he did seem to make a condition of his possibly withdrawing his resignation, a negotiation with Hezbollah over its military actions in other countries. Given the level of apparent instability that this seems to have created in Lebanon, do you think Hezbollah is actually going to be open to those negotiations?
I mean, the issue now, he's much weaker. Everybody believes that he was basically under pressure from Saudi Arabia. When he comes back, he's not as strong as he left. So he is strong. He has a big popularity. Now he is more embraced by either by the oligarchy or by the Lebanese people. But I'm not sure how much they will give up Hezbollah at this point, because they believe that the Saudi increased the pressure and they should maybe come back. So I think the U.S. pressure was effective on the Saudis. They toned down the pressure. He might come back, but I don't see the political crisis resolved anytime soon. But at least the push and the offensive little bit put some brakes on it now. But it seems much more complicated. But some of the issue he raised, he has right. He's right about them, about the neutrality of the Lebanese system, Lebanese government. Those issues should be discussed. But the issue is not by forcing directly or indirectly a prime minister to resign overseas. This is the question, not the substance of his talk.
As we well know, there's been a lot of speculation about a wider picture, a wider proxy conflict, as it were, between Saudi Arabia and Iran, and this Lebanon has been a focal point for that. In the event that the circumstances in Lebanon don't turn out to suit Saudi Arabia, what do you think Saudi Arabia's next step is likely to be?
They don't have much option. This is the issue. And the way I see it is they are trying to do an offensive or a push in the two weakest link, which is Yemen and Lebanon. While in Syria, they are fine. They are not even in the game. They are not even trying to be an obstacle. In Iraq, they are engaging the government. Abadi was in Riyadh. So they are basically trying to do an attack on the two weakest link. And the way I understood the Saudi message through Hariri today is now they only focus on Yemen. So they want basically Hezbollah out of Yemen. They want a more neutral issue on the normalization of relation between Beirut and Damascus. And it seems open to coming back to government. But all those are details. The big shift, if we are not talking anymore about taking Saad Hariri out of the equation, we are not talking about war. All the rhetoric now has changed, and you have a Saudi retreat, basically. And this is, I think, the big question. They want to be maybe more aggressive on Yemen, but for me, at least, they seem to be more flexible in Lebanon now. The U.S. is very worried about Syria. They have an agreement with Russia now there. They don't want the Saudi policy in Lebanon to impact that. So I think they came to the reality that, you know, you might have some trouble at home, some turmoil, but the region is much more complicated, and there's a limit to what you can do or you cannot do.
Joe Macaron of the Arab Center, Washington, D.C., thank you very much.